You are listening to the Knightline Sports Network, brought to you by Travis Dever and the Dever team, 386-690-1636.
Welcome to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Night Nation's only call-in show goes live now.
All right, hello, Night Nation. This is Andrew Phegley, and we are coming to you live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Bar Law, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. And we're taking your calls, 844-580-WDBO, 844-580-9326, or you can use the open mic feature on the WDBO app. I am Andrew Phegley. Like I said, I am AP_Knightline on Twitter, or UCF_Knightline as well. I got Roger Phipps with me tonight at Night Bengal on Twitter. Big Ben Stout has taken the night off. He is traveling for Thanksgiving, like I'm sure a lot of you are getting ready to do. One little housekeeping note real quick. We may break out for the rocket launch, so that will be coming up fairly soon here, hopefully, and we will let you know when we're going to do that. So you'll hear that live on WDBO instead of us, which is perfectly fine because we all love rocket launches. Roger, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing. I'm actually in studio with you this week, which is a change, and a change for the better.
Absolutely. All right, so we have football to talk about, but we also have this thing called basketball to talk about. We're going to talk about that a little bit later, but let's get started on the football thing. UCF played Cincinnati on Saturday, and it didn't turn out quite the way we wanted it to. UCF 33, Cincinnati 36. It's only 3 points, but it felt like a lot more than that sometimes when you look at it. So there's lots of information and lots of talking we can do about that.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing with the Cincinnati game, we knew this was going to be a tough game going into it. They are definitely a solid football team, a very consistent football team, and that was the piece that was missing for us last week. We were good at times, we were great at times, but in the end, we had one too many mistakes, and it ended up costing us the game.
Right. Dylan Gabriel, 26 of 49 with one interception for 243 yards and 3 touchdowns. Rushing, we had 139 yards. Let me see. Otis Anderson was the leader on that. 12 carries for 54. And Marlon Williams was the receiving top there at 8 catches for 97. So, it turned out, not the way we wanted it to, but it did, so.
It was a heck of a game. One of the things that was a pleasure to see was defensively, we shut them down for the first half. Unfortunately, we couldn't carry that momentum due to adjustments into the second half. Obviously, I think some of what we saw was due to depth and some issues with depth, given that we have lost about 17% of our players this year due to various reasons. However, that being said, the other big thing, let's tip our cap to Cincinnati. They made an adjustment with their tight ends. We were focused in trying to stop Desmond Ridder and keeping him within the box, and they used their tight ends to break that.
Absolutely, yeah. Very well-coached team there at Cincinnati. Luke Fickell is the coach. Very, very well-coached. We also have, obviously, coming up on Friday afternoon, 3:30 p.m. on ESPN, UCF against the South Florida Bulls. We like to call them the
Cows.
The Cows, yes. So, that's how we say it here, and we usually play this when we're talking about them. Okay, so very soon here we're going to go to the rocket launch so we can hear that live here on WDBO. So get ready for that. Should be very exciting. It's a good time. If you have a chance, you're not outside, run outside right now. If you're in Orlando, you can probably see it if you look to the east.
And we're not responsible for you tripping, so be careful.
Yeah, absolutely not. So we will wait for that coming up here very quickly.
The explosive rocket, like an explosive offense that UCF typically has. This is the hard transition into a rocket launch.
Yeah, this is live. It is what it is. I don't want to get into anything because if we get into it, then we will, we won't be able to continue what we're saying. So it's always fun to wait for things like this. Rocket launches are really exciting. So
we're both space nuts.
Absolutely. So we may run outside and watch it as well. You'll have to see if we're here when they return from the rocket launch.
Dun, dun, dun.
Tony Marino will break in here very shortly, I believe, and talk about that. Sam's in the studio as well.
Yeah.
And
I got you guys. We're about to break in right now. We got about 50 seconds before launch time, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the breaking news sounder, and we'll head over to Tony Marino so he can set that up for us, all right?
All right, sounds good.
An auto accident can change your life forever. At Chad Barr Law, we are raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Hi, I'm Chad Barr, and I want you to know that our entire team is dedicated to providing you with the representation you deserve in your greatest time of need. If you or a loved one have been injured in an auto accident, call 407-599-9036 for a free consultation or visit chadbarlaw.com. At Chad Barr Law, our clients come to us in need and leave as family. Offices, Altamont Springs.
Hey, this is Travis Dever, Kai's Real Estate, the Dever team, New Smyrna Beach. Your source for real estate and everything else, New Smyrna Beach. Proud sponsor of Knightline. Call me anytime at 386-690-1636. That's 386-690-1636. Let me show you my hometown, New Smyrna Beach, UCF's favorite beach. Go Knights and charge on.
And now, back to Nightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Nightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley. I can't even say my own name after that rocket launch.
Super exciting.
That was a good one, yeah. All right, very cool to hear that. Tony Marino does such a good job with the talking with the rocket launch and all that stuff. Very, very cool. Glad you got to hear that. Hopefully you got to go outside, but now you're back and listening to Nightline at Night, live from the Dever Team Studios, by the way, brought to you by Chad Barr Law. Real quick here, we want to talk about, I guess continue talking about the Cincinnati game a little bit. It was what it was. The defense played really well. I think we talked a little bit about that. I'm all messed up now because of the launch thing. It's live radio, folks. We've never had to do that before on this show.
No, it's the first time for everything.
New. It's new for us. So defense played very well. At one point in the first half, most of the first half, they had negative rushing yards. Cincinnati did.
-7.
Yeah, -7. I kept looking over at the scoreboard in the stadium and looking, being like, wow, -7 rushing yards. This is awesome. So our young defense, you might remember a couple of weeks ago, less than a month ago, probably this month actually, the four starters were dismissed from the team, and it's younger guys filling in for those guys, so that's a really big deal.
Yeah, Tatum Bethune, he was absolutely killing it out there. He's coming into his own. He, again, is a sophomore, wasn't expected to start, but he's been playing really, really, really well. Also, Richie Grant, which we expect to play well, played well, and he had 16 tackles, which is phenomenal, tied his career record. He was AAC honor roll player this week, and, just a senior member of the team. However, the big news out of all of this, too, and to your point, Andrew, is our corners. Our corners held their own. The sidelines were not an option for Ritter, so the only thing that they really had to go with was that tight end, and we can go into that a little bit more when we have a little bit more time. But all in all, watching those guys on the field, sophomores, true freshmen, they're building for the future, and they did fairly well.
Yeah, and this was the number 7 team in the United States. This was the number 7 team, so that was a big deal. We've been that team before, the higher ranked team, a lot of times. This time we were not. Very rarely does this happen to us at home, a situation like this, but this time it did. So. It kind of is what it is. Josh Heupel told the team afterwards to just, let this one go, get it out of your mind. You got to get ready for next week. So when we come back after the break here that's coming up in a couple of minutes, we will move on as well, and we will talk about the upcoming game, and we'll talk about some basketball. UCF goes Saturday for basketball at
2 o'clock.
Yeah, well, I was getting there, Roger. Yeah, they play Saturday. It's going to be, 2 o'clock. So that'll be very cool on ESPN Plus from UCF playing the Oklahoma Sooners. So getting the basketball season started is a good thing right now. All right, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back. We'll talk a little bit of UCF, USF, and then we'll talk Oklahoma Sooners, UCF. When we get back on Knightline at Night. Hey Jeep Wrangler owners, have you ever sat in your office at work and watched the rain just pour into your Jeep because the weatherman said that there was a 0 chance of rain? Or you put your doors back on because there was a 100% chance and then not a drop of rain fell? Well, there's a company out there that can help take the worry away and give you the peace of mind to be without your doors. The company's called Life Without Doors. They make waterproof rain curtains and dash covers for Wranglers. Life Without Doors is there to help make the decision to leave the doors at home an easy one. Find out more at lifewithoutdoors.com.
Spice up your company with homemade marketing services from Tasty Gravy Creative. Tasty Gravy serves up a menu of budget-friendly marketing, graphic design, and public relations services customized to your specific goals. Co-owned by a UCF graduate, Tasty Gravy can help refresh your brand, strengthen your online presence, or reinforce your company's message. Contact Tasty Gravy for help with your website, social media, marketing, advertising materials, and more. Visit tastygravy.com.
Looking for more out of your Porsche? Look no further than Flat6Motorsports.com. They have the widest selection of aftermarket Porsche parts anywhere in the world. With over 85 product lines and in-depth expertise, Flat6Motorsports.com is your one-stop shop for any Porsche performance needs. Whether you're shopping for intakes, exhausts, suspension, or tuning, they have you covered. Flat6Motorsports.com is the premier Porsche aftermarket specialist. Check them out at Flat6Motorsports.com.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night. I am Andrew Phegley. We're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Bar Law, raising the bar on what to expect from your personal injury attorney. Give Chad a call, 407-599-9036 for a free consultation, or visit chadbarlaw.com. You can also call Travis Dever for all your New Smyrna Beach real estate needs, 386-690-1636. We're taking your calls, 844-580-WDBO, 844-580-9326, or you can use the open mic feature on the WDBO app if you have something to say to us. I am Andrew Phegley. I got Roger Phipps here, Night Bengal. We also call him, and then Sam is in the studio as well. Sam, take a left at Albuquerque, we will say. Does a podcast on the Knightline Sports Network as well. You can find all those podcasts that we do besides this show on nightlinesports.com. All right, so we want to continue talking about the UCF USF game. So right now, my favorite thing is the matchup predictor on ESPN.com, and I'm loving it this week. I am absolutely loving it. UCF, it says, has a 95% chance to win, so that leaves for the Cows
I was expecting 99.95%.
Well, yeah. We are a 25-point favorite at the Bucs Stadium.
Well,
I mean, it's not even their stadium.
It's our second home.
It is. It is our second home over there. So maybe Tom Brady will suit up for them or something. I don't know.
Based on last week's game, I'm not sure if that's a good thing.
I don't know if that would help them or not. So, yeah, there was news out of there today that Johnny Ford, their running back, has been kicked off the team.
Yeah,
or has left the team for some reason.
Left the team, yeah. That was the words that were used, and that's an absolutely big deal because they don't really have a whole lot of difference-maker skill players, and Johnny Ford was definitely a talented running back.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's other news, though. There's a lot of speculation. If you remember, Mckenzie Milton got hurt in that game 2 years ago. At USF over there, and he has made a miraculous recovery from having his knee dislocated, almost losing his leg. And there's a little bit of speculation and a little conversation this week kind of got out in the rumor mill that he might suit up and possibly even get into the game, which would be, I think it would be awesome for that to happen on the field, that his injury happened almost exactly, well, it would be exactly 2 years, almost to the day that it happened. It kind of would be to the day because we usually play this game on Black Friday,
yeah.
So it would be almost to the day. I don't know if the date was the same, but yeah. So first of all, this all came about during Dylan Gabriel's press conference this week on Monday. Here's how it kind of transpired. Somebody asked him about KZ, Mckenzie Milton, and here's what Dylan Gabriel had to say.
I mean, if I was a fan, I'd want it to be a surprise, so I can't say yes, I can't say no. We'll just see, we'll see what happens. But I know Kenzie is doing great mentally and physically, and he's ready to do so whenever, he's ready to do so. I'm gonna let that just be it and see what happens. I would just be honest, there's a bunch of surprises. I would just sit back and see, I'm not saying he is, I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just saying, who knows, you know what I mean? So we'll see.
All right, the reporters kind of put him on the spot there, and he handled it very well. But in a way, I believe that he kind of...
He let the cat out of the bag. He said he did not. He had every opportunity, an ample opportunity, to say emphatically no or, hey, he might be on the sideline. But he said, I don't know if he's going to play. Let's let it be a surprise. Well, he didn't say I don't know. He said, let's let it be a surprise for the fans. So he had every opportunity to say no. And to me, that was, the conspiracy theorist in me says he's saying yes.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Here's what Josh Heupel had to say on the situation today when the reporters talked with him.
Mckenzie continues to get better and better every day, and I think as you look back at the weeks, you can see the progress that he's continuing to make.
Okay, so he didn't say anything either way. He was pressed pretty hard, though, to answer that question and just did not answer it. So that is Josh Heupel. We all know that, the coach of...
He never answers any question.
He does not answer a lot of questions. He uses a lot of coach speak. So, it is what it is. We will see. Like I said before, I think it would be absolutely awesome if he were to return. I don't know the situational type thing where he could return. This is definitely Dylan Gabriel's team, no question. Dylan Gabriel still ranked in number 1 or number 2 in quarterback rankings this year, has now 3,017 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He, as a sophomore, is having an incredible year. So I would be surprised,
KZ's not going to be the starter.
No.
What's going to end up happening, if anything, is he'll have a few plays that'll be drawn up specifically for him to help him get back into the groove. But I do not see him coming out of the tunnel as...
Well, I wasn't saying that.
No, I know
even
that.
Speculating. I don't think anybody's speculating on that. I'm just wondering the situation that it may happen. Was it going to happen on the last down in the fourth quarter, or would they throw him out there to just for a couple of plays or something in the middle, or a couple of plays every once in a while. You never know what could happen there. Here's what Josh Heupel had to say about the USF team, the Cows.
Multiple in what they do on the defensive side of the football. I think they play really hard. They've had some injuries during the course of the season, and I expect, this week probably them to be as healthy as they've been in a while, whether that's COVID or physical injury, and done a good job of creating turnovers and putting people in third and long situations. So, for us, it is about balance, it's about playing ahead of the chains, it's about taking care of the football. It's going to be critical in this football game. The one's what you're focused on. This is a game everybody pretty much knows everybody. They've played together in high school, played against each other, been on the same 7-on-7 traveling teams. They know the opponent. They know who they're going against. It means a lot for everybody because you're going to live with this one. And, it resides here in the state. And like I said earlier, it's a trophy game, and you're playing for something that has been inside of our building, and kids see it every day. So great opportunity for us to go do what we want to do on Friday and get a win.
All right, big rivalry game. That's apparent to everyone. It's always exciting, this game. I don't care what the situation is. It's a little bit more exciting when both teams are doing very well. But South Florida this year is not doing very well at all. They are 0-6 in the conference and 1-7 overall. So they've won one game, and that game I think was against the Citadel or something like that. It was against
a random FCS
somebody
team or something
that was not very good. It was the Citadel. They won 27-6, and they have lost. That was their very first game. They have lost every game since. So it's not quite the rivalry that it has been in the past, but that's fine because we were on the other side of that a couple times as well.
Yeah, and remember, this is the game where we even the series. So assuming, which 95% predictive that it is, that we will win this game, and if and when we do, then we will have tied the series. And that was the one last thing that they had hanging over us besides that 63-point game from years past that we'd like to forget. So hopefully Josh Heupel, as a way to send the seniors off, etc., which one thing I will say, I won't say who, but there are rumors that are starting to percolate that there may be some seniors that we saw on senior night that they may skip that game. So don't be surprised if you see a few people that are focusing on the NFL and choose not to opt into that game. But other than that,
I don't know if I would expect that on this game. I would expect that more on the bowl game than this game. This is still a regular season game. I would be surprised.
You might be surprised. Let's just put it that way. So maybe those are the surprises, part of the surprises Dylan was talking about.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But all right, Andrew in Oviedo is on the line. What's going on, my friend Andrew from Oviedo?
Doing well. Just got done watching the rocket launch. That was a cool thing to see before I called in.
Yeah, cool. It was a little different happening during our show. I completely forgot about it until Sam told me about it, and I was like, it kind of threw me off. So I was a little weird there. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, considering I've pretty much watched every game this season and been to every home game, one thing I've noticed is I don't feel the sense of urgency and that killer instinct that our team has. I mean, obviously every year we're trying to find a leader, but when I watch Cincinnati, when I watch Temple and even Tulane, I never really got that killer instinct or that something to where there's that one person on that team that does not want to lose and will do everything in their power to make sure that doesn't happen and build up their team to prevent that from happening. I just never really felt that this season. I don't know if that's just another thing we chalk up to COVID, or we're really still trying to find a leader. As much as we like to use Dylan as the leader, I don't really see that. I mean, obviously he goes through the motions. He's the offensive guru that he is, but I'm thinking the team is still searching for a leader. And I was just kind of curious if you guys also thought that, or you know who that leader is.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. We have to remember that Dylan is just a sophomore as well, a true sophomore, a kid, 19 years old or maybe 20 years old at this point. So I think that's kind of hard to do at that age, especially when you're an underclassman. I mean, the quarterback, you would kind of expect that guy to be a leader, and I think that he has done better being a leader, for sure. But the killer instinct thing, you may be right about that. Thinking back, I think you're probably right about that killer instinct, and I don't know if that comes from the culture of the team at the moment, or that comes from COVID, or that comes from, something else. Maybe the coach. I'm not sure. But I kind of would agree with you that it seems like that. I don't want to really think that, but it kind of does seem like that. Roger, what do you have to say?
Well, we actually kind of talked about this on the podcast last week. We started down this rabbit hole, and one of the things that I feel just like you do, that when you're watching this team, when you watch the Blake Bortles take the field, or you watch KZ take the field, when you watch the Griffin twins take the field, all those players were someone that were inspirational. When you saw them take the field, whether we were down or not, you could see that they were ready to take it and win the game. And no matter what, they were not going to lose that game. The other part about this is, and Andrew kind of hit on this, was, what does the team look like culturally, and what does Coach Josh Heupel instill? Obviously, from us on the outside looking in, he's not a very emotional coach on the sideline. He doesn't let anybody in. So we don't know really what type of excitement. We've seen some emotional speeches that he's given in the locker room, but we're really not let into that. So that may be changing our view. But at the end of the day, I agree with you. I don't see, Marlon Williams was a backup role up until this season, and all the folks that are now in the leadership roles or the top performers are folks that were not in those roles before. And they've kind of grown into them throughout the season, Richie Grant included. He's one of the most senior people there, but he was never a leader, and now he's kind of grown into that. So I don't really see anyone on the field that's grown within the program that has been there consistently, that it has that killer instinct.
Yeah, I would say that maybe Richie Grant, if there's one guy that does have that killer instinct to do whatever it takes, it would probably be him. Because he really showed up in this game. He showed up in a lot of the other games. So if anybody does, on the defensive side, it would probably be him. So I hope that answers your question. I appreciate you calling, like always. So I hope that's good.
Yeah, it's fine. Just hope you destroy the Bulls this weekend.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't think that's going to be a problem this year. Hopefully this whole KZ rumor thing comes to happen, and we get to see him maybe step on the football field again. I would have rather that happened, of course, in a packed bounce house. Would have been a lot better to see him come onto the field there, but if it has to be full circle for him and happen in the place where the injury originally happened, almost to the date, I think that would be pretty cool for him, and maybe that would psychologically take the whole thing full circle for him, because that's a big deal as well for him. Not only the physical parts, but the mental capacity of having an injury like that, and even getting back on the football field. First of all the rehab and stuff that he had to do. That's a really big deal. And I don't know if, there's a lot of you out there that maybe have hurt your knee and tore your ACL or something. This was completely different than that. This was dislocated knee. It goes up against the artery, sometimes severs the artery, which it kind of did, severs the nerve a lot of times. It's a really big deal. So to come back from that, there are not many people. This would be a perfect year, though, for this to happen for him, because we just saw the guy, I can't remember his name.
Joe Burrow.
Not Joe Burrow. No, I wasn't thinking of Joe Burrow. I was thinking of the quarterback for the Washington football team. Alex Smith. There you go. I was thinking about Alex Smith, and he just came back and started his first game not too long ago as well. So that was a really big deal. He was able to do that. A lot of people didn't think that was going to happen for him, but it did. All right, so we're going to take a break. We're going to be right back on Knightline at night very shortly, and we'll continue. We're going to talk a little bit about basketball after that.
I'm Jeff Allen. Join me each and every week on the Knightline Sports Network for the AAC Report. We bring you in-depth coverage of each school in football, basketball, baseball, softball, soccer, golf, tennis, and more, as well as bring you insider interviews and focus in on the biggest games and news of the week. That's all right here each week on the AAC Report, only on the Knightline Sports Network.
Welcome. This is a promo for the Take a Left at Albuquerque podcast, new to the Knightline Sports Network. You should listen to it. I say things like this. We need to stop blaming Jerry because we would do the exact same thing if we owned the Dallas freaking Cowboys. Do you know how much fun it is to own the Dallas Cowboys? My guests will say things sometimes like this.
It's the Lord of the Flies thing that happens when they don't understand that things are wrong, spoiler alert, until Piggy dies.
Lord of the Flies has been out for like 100 years. I don't even know.
Sorry to everyone at home who I spoiled the book for. A book's been out for like 90 years or something.
And sometimes, rarely though, I'll say really stupid things like this. If they don't make it out of the West and the Raptors get to the finals, I will go on either this show or whoever's show and say that Kawhi Leonard is overrated because I have too much evidence of it. New episodes drop every Friday with me and some of my good friends right here on the Knightline Sports Network.
And now, back to Knightline at Night on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580. Call now at 844-580-9326.
All right, back on Knightline at Night. I'm Andrew Phegley. We're live from the Dever Team Studios, brought to you by Chad Bar Law. Taking your calls. You can use the open mic feature. Your calls at 844-580-WDBO, 844-580-9326 if you want to. I am Andrew Phegley, AP Knightline on Twitter. I got Roger Phipps here with me at Night Bengal on Twitter. Got Sam in the studio as well. We're going to talk a little bit about UCF basketball. UCF basketball season is starting on Saturday, 2 p.m. at Addition Financial Arena there on the campus of UCF. They are playing the Oklahoma Sooners. The matchup predictor for that one says that it's a 52% chance that Oklahoma will take that one. So 40.8% that UCF will win that game. Oklahoma has been a fairly good basketball team. I believe last year we played them, or I think it was last year, and it was like a 1-point game.
It was a 1-point heartbreaker.
Yeah, absolutely. Here is head coach for UCF, Johnny Dawkins, on if the team is ready.
You know, guys have been practicing hard and long, and they're ready to face someone else. I know they are. I was in the same position as a player. And everyone's looking forward to it. You can see the energy and just the eyes, the excitement. And I feel the same way they do. It's like, it's a new beginning and everyone looking forward to a season. From a strength standpoint, it's been difficult because guys have missed the entire summer, as far as strength and conditioning training. They did some things with bands and some things they could do on their own at home. But as you knew, with everyone being, locked down for as long as they were, a lot of these, especially the young players, missed a great opportunity where they would have been here, in the summer and then the fall and had all those months of being able to train and get acclimated. All of those players missed that opportunity. They're working now, and our strength and conditioning coach is doing a great job. But, you're playing a little bit of catch up, because you missed about 3 or 4 months of being able to have them, working with them on a, consistent basis. So we understand that. And then as far as conditioning, I think we've done a good job conditioning of, even we've had a short clock of getting them in good condition because that's just kind of reminded us of when we played. When we played, we didn't have a summer. You came in during the fall and then, you got right after it. And October 15th, you had official practice. And so I just kind of used the same blueprint that we had when we were playing. And that got us in good shape. I thought it worked well for us. And I think it's worked well for our team. I don't think conditioning will be a problem of ours. I think, I wish we had a little more strength training, especially for some of our younger guys to get a good foundation under them.
All right, so we'll see. That was head coach Johnny Dawkins for the UCF Knights basketball team. We will see if they're ready on Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock on ESPN+. If you have ESPN+, you can watch that. Otherwise, you have to go someplace and watch that. I have one more clip I want to play from him real quick here, and that is Johnny Dawkins talking about Oklahoma.
They're a very good team. Lon Kruger does a great job, and so I know they'll be well prepared. But that experience, that does add a lot to who they are. And for us, we just need to go out there and play within ourselves, follow along with the system and the game plan that we have established. And that's how we're going to approach it. We have a lot of respect for their program, and we know we have to come out and play a really good basketball game. And we need to do that for 40 minutes.
All right, lots of stuff going on this Thanksgiving weekend for UCF. Football at 3 o'clock or 3:30 on ESPN over in Tampa, and then basketball on Saturday, 2 p.m. on ESPN Plus in Orlando. So lots of stuff going on.
Yeah, and I'll be there live. So I'm going to be enjoying that Hoops game live.
Okay, good. Yeah, that'll be fun. It's a little bit of a different setup. There are different rules as well for attendees as there was for football this year. So they're only doing the 25% thing there. They've moved a little stuff around the courtside seating. If you didn't see that, that's much different than it used to be. Students, if you want to go to that, it is first come, first serve for the students. So it'll be a little bit different. Everything about 2020 is different. 2020 is almost over, folks. We can get there as quickly as possible.
Put it behind us.
As far as I'm concerned. And we can move on and everything will be good and we can go back to our sports like normal. So, yeah.
Well, the big thing for me this season is seeing the continued development of Darren Green Jr. and see what the spark that he brings off the table. I have a feeling that we'll be playing a little bit more small ball. Things to look out for, more press, more up and down, faster pace with Colin Smith leaving the lineup. And it'll be interesting to see what we do with the point forwards because we have a lot of guys that are in that mid-range, and C.J. Walker has been cleared. So it'll be exciting how he fits.
It will be exciting to see how C.J. Walker fits. That was very good news just yesterday, I believe, that he was cleared by the NCAA. He was a transfer from Oregon. He was a freshman. He's a sophomore here, I believe, since he played there. First 5-star player to ever play at UCF, which is a really big deal in any sport, I believe. Well, not any sport, but football or basketball. He would be the first one. So very, very big deal. All righty. Well, we're come to about the end of our time. It's been fun. Have a good Thanksgiving. And we will see you the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you more about UCF. Thank you for listening.